Cottrell. Oh, big collision, Pasikala. Robin's over. First try of the final. Cormac to Hume. It's with Cunningham, so close. Leah Miles. She's over. Both sides defence. Outstanding this afternoon. Hawke's Bay on the line. Hawke's Bay, Tui, third time lucky. They are the winners of the Bunnings Farah Palmer Cup Championship.
As they go wide, they've got numbers on the outside here. Duplessis goes forward, gets the pass away, and Canterbury 2 minutes into the game. And another good run from Fisher, and Rai the man, well, she's the one that started it. It's Kendra Cox, there's Miller on his way. Is Cox going to get there? Yes, she is. Canterbury, they pick up their 5th title, and they are your 2022 Farah Palmer Cup Premiership champions.
No mai, hoki mai, welcome back into the breakdown. While we've shipped the boys off and we have brought in the experts, Taylah Johnson, Tyla Nathan-Wong, the legendary Anna Richards. Thank you all so much for coming on the program. It is so awesome to be able to do this. Tyla, unfortunately, you're not over at the Sevens World Cup at the moment. HIA, after that final Black Ferns match in Christchurch. How are you feeling? How's everything going for you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm about 3 weeks post that concussion and doing well. The first week or two was a bit of a challenge and, you know, had to kind of just let everything soak in, be patient with myself. But I'm doing good now. First week back running, completed that, ticking boxes. We're on the up.
It's good to hear. Gutted that you couldn't go over, but we're lucky to be able to have you on this panel. Anna, I'm so sorry, but we have to talk about it. Farah Palmer Cup Premierships, coach of Auckland sitting right here. Taylah, of course, called the final. Canterbury, just too good. 5 titles in 6 years. Seriously, what makes this side so good? You know, because you've got to coach against them.
Oh, look, they outplayed us yesterday. And to be fair, we just didn't compete at a lot of areas in the game. We couldn't hold on to the ball for periods. You know, the only time we actually built phases, we scored, you know, more than 4. But we just kept on shipping the ball out, and it's too hard against Canterbury. And I think the biggest thing about them is that they know how to play finals footy. Now, you know, it's their fifth title in 6 years, and I thought they played really, really well yesterday, used the win really well, and just didn't make too many errors.
I think Canterbury as well, they just played with so much tempo, and the thing about that Canterbury team is it doesn't actually change a lot over the years as well. Like, you look at the team that won that first title back in 2018, you know, a lot of those girls are still there today, and it's just that experience, and a lot of them playing the Black Ferns together. You know, there was 11 current and former Black Ferns in that team, so I think it's just experience in playing together.
The thing is, they didn't miss a beat when they lost their Black Ferns as well before that Black Ferns test in Christchurch.
No, they didn't. It just shows that, like Taylah says, the consistency. They've played together for how many years now, and they just keep bringing that. They were very dominant. Their scrum was very dominant yesterday. Lineouts were a bit iffy from both teams, but it just shows you can get set piece, you can hold on to your ball, you score tries.
There were 3 legends of the game. That will be their final match in the Farah Palmer Cup. I want to touch on Kendra Coxedge first and foremost, her 100th game for Canterbury, and what a way to send her off in that sort of style. How does she compare to some of the greatest ever that have played in Farah Palmer Cup? Is she one of the greatest Farah Palmer Cup players? You'd know, you've been there for a very long time as well, Anna.
Anna wants to say it's her.
Yeah.
It's Anna, guys.
Oh, like,
You've won 9 titles.
Yeah, no doubt Kendra's a wonderful player. Is she the best ever Farah Palmer Cup player? She's only won 5 titles. You know,
only 5.
There's a lot of Auckland girls who have won 9, 10 titles. So and that's not to say Canterbury won't go on and do that. Yeah. But they'll have to do it without Kendra, and I think Kendra will be a massive loss for them.
I definitely think she does build her own legacy because she has scored the most points in Farah Palmer Cup history ever. You know, she took massive conversions from the sideline, you know, second amount of tries scored. So, yes, as Anna said, you know, she deserves a place in history, but there's, you know, still plenty of really good players in the past. And, you know, Auckland, they had a stronghold over the title for years and years. They've won 15 titles, and it's only been around since 1999, so it goes to show there's some pretty solid athletes back then. But I think Canterbury, they might have looked at what happened back then and trying to mimic it and building such a strong foundation.
Tyla, you would have played with and against her?
Yeah, Kenj, yeah, have. I played with her for the first time, I think, when we both made our, when I made my debut in 2012 for the Sevens. She was in the Sevens then, and then also against her as well. Haven't played against her in recent years, and then luckily made my debut after as well down in Christchurch. So she's an amazing player. You can't get that wrong. And she, she's that type of player just that loves that little bit of niggle in the game as well. Like loves to get inside people's minds. But if you're up to the challenge, you can get it back to her too. I love watching Vic, Zabriskie Nafatali, and Kenj go at each other. That's one of the best rivalries. I love seeing them when they're playing against each other.
Can I just also ask you the story? You played against Anna too?
Yeah, I played against Anna. The first time I played against Anna, I was 14 years old. I was playing for Auckland Marathon. She was playing for College Rifles. I got footage somewhere on one of my pages back in the day, and
I may not have noticed you. She's a bit small.
Yeah, you think I'm small now, man. I was even tiny. It's crazy.
You're the nicest halfback there is. You talk about niggle, Kendra Coxedge, Emma Jensen, man, they're in your ear, and Tyla's just giving compliments out on the field.
Yeah, you would be doing that, wouldn't you? You're amazing. We want to talk about the other legends as well. Steph Te or Heidi Fox, she's given so much to Canterbury, and Emma Jensen, another. Her final match, and they win the championship title.
Yeah, it's fairy tale really ending for all those three, and all three, I think they're sitting at like 300 and something odd first class games, which is outrageous. But three wonderful, wonderful players, and although it hurts me to say, they may have deserved to go out on once.
Well,
That's nice of you.
137 games Emma Jensen finishes on. She's played for multiple provinces, and everywhere she goes, she's added something, and she's helped develop the players, and that is why we've seen the likes of Hawke's Bay just get better and better. Their third time in a championship final, and they get the win, and it was for her, and no one picked that game. Otago was spanking everyone out the competition. They went to Balclutha, not an easy place to play in if you're Hawke's Bay, and then they get the win. That's an incredible effort from the Hawke's Bay Tui, so congratulations to them.
Yeah, massive congratulations to Hawke's Bay and to Canterbury. Now, all three of you have been in and around this competition for some time now. What do you think of the level of this competition? Is it getting better year on year? Are we seeing increases in the skill level, the competition between players?
Oh, undoubtedly, and I think that's to do with high performance units that have been set up since 2019. I think that's helped immensely. The fact that there's now there's a premier competition. I think I'd like to see more provinces in there, which would be really cool. But I think it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah, well, due to these high-performance programs, players are getting fitter, faster, stronger. The skill level is increasing, and that's what we want to see in the women's game. We want to keep seeing it developing, and it's amazing to see these players. So, yeah, keep bringing it on, keep supporting the women's rugby, and we need to keep going up.
It's the pathways as well, because more and more girls are playing at school, and then we've seen so many schoolgirls year in, year out in the Farah Palmer Cup, but they were also playing with Black Ferns, and that's the beauty about the Farah Palmer Cup. You don't get it in the NPC, you don't get schoolboys playing with All Blacks in one team, but you do in the FPC, and they're just learning from each other, and the more experienced players are also learning from the young ones. They've got new tricks and skills as well, so I think it's such a premier competition in that way. It is getting better and better, but as Anna said, there's still work to do.